Yo, this is the Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. And our sponsors at Alpha Claims and Hire Birmingham, the leading and best accident management company. Get a replacement car anywhere in 1 hour. I really appreciate you joining me today, and this is some updates coming from Birmingham. This first story is about the murder that happened in Crowne Plaza Hotel in 2020. This story was really difficult to cover due to the fact that there was nothing being solved for quite a long time, and there was somebody on the run in relation to the murder as well. And we do not interfere with cases, and we'd only cover the case when everything has been cleared up in relation to it. And of course, only certain details will only ever emerge when the court case has been heard and the papers released. Panashe Bako died after suffering a single stab wound to the chest. The police said that the row erupted inside a room at the Crowne Plaza Hotel in Holliday Street on the 21st of July 2020 at around 7:20 p.m. in the Birmingham area. Hotel staff and paramedics worked to save Mr Bako's life, but was pronounced dead at hospital. Officers took witness statements, CCTV footage and forensic evidence to piece together the tragic events that unfolded. Police found evidence that suggested the tragic events revolved around Mohammed Khan, who was the former partner of a young woman that Mr Bako was with in the hotel on that evening. Using phone analysis, they discovered that Khan, who was aged 20 at the time, had contacted his ex a dozen times that day. And he had also seen on social media that she was at the hotel with Mr Bako. Khan then went to the hotel and said that the woman who was with Mr Bako owed him money. He began taking a number of items. This is when Mr Bako tried to stop him and a fight broke out between the two. While they were fighting, a knife was produced and Mr Bako was fatally stabbed and sadly lost his life. Mr Khan left the hotel and he left behind a 6-inch knife that was in a sheath also on the floor by the lift. The police located Khan the next day and retrieved 2 phones and a bag from the boot in his car that he was in. They also used forensic analysis on his clothes and it showed a stain of Mr Bako's blood. Mohammed Khan from Washwood Heath denied murder, but after a 4-week trial at Stafford Crown Court, the jury on the 28th of May found him guilty of manslaughter. Cesar Bello from St Heliers Road, Birmingham, who was the one that had gone on the run for so long and delayed the case, also denied murder and was found not guilty. Both men were also found not guilty of a related charge of robbery. Following the verdict, Khan was remanded in custody, the sentence that will be given on the 6th of August. Detective Inspector Jim Coffclough from the homicide team said this was a simple tragedy inside the hotel that escalated so fast and the young man has lost his life. Our thoughts remain with Mr Bako's family at this devastating time and we send our condolences. So this story highlights what can happen if you get involved in somebody else's relationship when it has just ended. When relationships like this end, it's not as simple as it may seem. It looks like Panashe had absolutely nothing to do with this. He was just caught in the crossfire of somebody else's toxic relationship, and the fact that he fought with Mohammed, even though technically he was defending the woman when Mohammed had turned up to her hotel with a knife, that still meant that his sentence would be reduced. And from what I've seen in the court papers, the girl involved has had no charges brought against her. And sadly, this is an all too common story that I've covered on the channel before, where people can get so emotionally involved in something that can resort to murder or manslaughter over the end of a relationship. In another case from Birmingham as well that we covered last year was the case of Roy Garmson and his brother from Bartley Green. Joseph Garmson was killed in Lutley Grove, Bartley Green on the 14th of September. The court has today jailed his brother, Roy Garmson. Father of 5 Joseph was rushed to hospital but sadly died from a stab wound to the leg, and Roy Garmson, who was living in Lutley Grove at the time, left the address and was arrested later on suspicion of murder. The 34-year-old denied murder but was convicted of manslaughter following a trial at Birmingham Crown Court and sentenced on the 11th of June. This story was a shock to the city, as Joseph was known as Danger and he used to be an MC in the city and he was very popular as well. And I did speak to the sister, who actually said that she was going to speak to me further about the story and explain a bit more about it. But of course, it's been devastating situation for the family and devastating time as well. And definitely a warning of how alcohol can heighten emotions and lead to situations getting out of control. So rest in peace to Joseph Garmson and also Panashe Bako as well. And I really appreciate you joining me for this update. I'll be back again very shortly with some more news. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Peace.